Sure to stop bouncing.
We are preparing. All right, well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Advocacy Week edition of the Carolina Coffee Series. My name is Will McDevitt, and I am joined today by Kathy Stratton, the Executive Director of the Carolinas chapter. And today we have two Arthritis Foundation Advocacy Ambassadors joining us, Brian from North Carolina and Sarah Cordrick from South Carolina. Thank you both for joining us here this morning, and I just wanted to go ahead and start us off with a quick cheers with our coffee. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers and good morning, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you all for joining me, like I said. So Sarah, if you don't mind, I want to go ahead and start with you. So first off, what made you want to become involved as an advocacy ambassador?
Shortly after I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, I felt myself lost for a long time, probably about a year and a half, trying to understand what it meant. What was the old Sarah versus what's this new Sarah going to look like? Really struggled with that. And I think a lot of people who have an autoimmune disease struggle with that. So I saw that there was a walk. So I joined the walk to cure arthritis and had a team of friends join me. And then I found myself really wanting to be more involved, but I didn't know how. And at the time I was living in Ohio, and I saw that there was an opportunity to go to a local hotel, and the foundation was housing kind of like a lunch and learn about what it meant to be an advocate. And I was like, this is something I can do. So I can choose how involved I am. And what I found, it's really given me a voice. So that's how I initially got started.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I love that, Sarah. I love that you saw the opportunity to get involved and making your voice the voice for many that may not be as comfortable. So we appreciate you doing that. So Brian, I want to have a question for you about the importance of our volunteers. We all know this is National Volunteer Week. So I first want to give like a huge shout out to our amazing volunteers. Brian and Sarah, you are two of them. So thank you to all of our volunteers out there who impact what we do in such a positive and influential way every single day. So Brian, knowing how important volunteers are to the foundation and for us to do what we do, how does one become an arthritis advocate?
Well, the easiest way to do it is to go to arthritis.org/advocate, and that will take you to the advocacy page, and you can learn all about our different issues. Once you do that, things will be routed to your state's advocacy chair, and then they should be in touch and help you get started in your state.
Right, great.
So Sarah, tell me about your favorite experience with advocacy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have to pick one.
Yeah.
All right. I would have been trying to think about what I would say here. So, but I think the biggest thing for me is I'm a mom, and I have two kids, a son who's 13 and my daughter's 10. And I have been able to teach them that you can kind of overcome anything. And so one of the advocacy summits in DC, I was able to take my daughter with me, and she was actually able to talk to our congressional leaders and explain her personal challenges as a daughter of somebody who lives with arthritis and how it's impacted her. And I was choking back tears, but through it all, I think it's given her vision that she doesn't have to take what is said, that there is hope in everything in life. And that's been a big value point for me. I like it a lot. So I guess in that fact, I'm almost grateful for arthritis.
A good way to look at it, I guess. So yeah, very interesting. Thank you.
I love that. you're helping everyone in your family to have a voice, and that kind of shows the journey with arthritis, Sarah. It doesn't just impact the patient, it affects the entire family and all of the loved ones that support them. So having them engaged and involved is really powerful for all of you. I love that. So this question is kind of for both of you. How has being an advocate for arthritis impacted you personally?
You want to take this one, Brian?
Sure. So before I got involved in advocacy, I didn't really have a community per se to have that community support from. I got involved with advocacy and then I found all these people who were just like me and who went through the same struggles, the same issues that I did. And it really helped me emotionally get through the hard days, because now I've got all these amazing people that I can call and say, hey, today sucks. My arthritis is killing me. I can't walk. And just knowing the impact you can have and how easy it really is to do advocacy. That's how it's impacted me.
Yeah, I agree with Brian pretty much 100%. It's really created a circle of friends that I've been able to call on and that live all across the United States. And I found myself following, RA forums online and talking to them about the foundation if they didn't know they could get involved, and they can. And when I do have those bad days, most days, let's just be honest, most days I'm hurting, but I'm not totally laying in bed. Okay, but there are the days where it's ugly. And on those days, I know that I can pick up my phone and that I can talk to somebody that really gets it. And that means everything.
That's pretty powerful what the both of you have just shared, because that ultimately is the mission and the focus of the foundation, is how do we connect our community to ensure that they're aware of the resources and the support that we can provide. And it speaks loudly to our Live Yes Arthritis Network. And I encourage everybody to visit our website and tour through the Live Yes Arthritis Network piece of our website and see how you can become connected and find the support that Sarah, you and Brian have just shared. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really great to hear that you both have developed a form of support system, or found a form of support system here, due to these. And I just think it's really nice to hear that you went from being in the state of not really having anybody to talk to actually knowing there are ways you can reach out now. With that said, moving forward, Brian, I do have a question for you. So let's say our audience, or even me, what are some ways either I or anybody watching, if they're interested, can get in contact with an elected official in their local area?
So yeah, it's really a lot easier than you would think. Well, first of all, you can go to their websites. Any congressman, it's going to be their last name .house.gov, and the senators, it'll be their last name .senate.gov. You can go to their Facebook pages, their Twitters. Some of them have LinkedIn, Instagram, any number of social media outlets. You can call their offices. Once you visit their website, you can also get addresses and email, and it's really easy to get in touch with them.
Okay. That's impressive. Knows that.
Well, so we all know how important our volunteers are, and I spoke to that earlier. And I know Brian and Sarah, both of you are really going to be relying on reaching out and building the network throughout the North and South Carolina to help us really build the advocacy efforts that we have taking place. So how can those that are joining us today and those listening later, how can they get more involved with the Arthritis Foundation to the level that supports the focus that you two are working on within these two states?
I'll let Sarah take this one.
Well, if they go to the website, which I'm sure is going to be linked in here, there are a lot of opportunities to click as easy as a button to say that you're interested. And you seriously get to choose how much you want to be involved. And I know, depending on if you're an introvert or an extrovert, that is going to vary very much. And some people may not be comfortable sitting in front of their senator or an aide and talking about issues that are going on at the federal level. But there will be people that are interested, or maybe they just want to send an email. It's as easy as using the system on the foundation site and entering in your personal story without having to worry about sitting in front of them and clicking send, and it automatically sends it. And believe it or not, these offices, they write you back and they want to hear more about how you are impacted or how your views might align with what they have going on right now. So I would encourage everybody to just go out to the site, see what they're interested in, and just take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very helpful. So I can make phone calls, I can write letters, I can also reach out to other families and warriors and encourage them to get involved as well. And I know that Brian and Sarah, you guys are always there to help and guide and answer questions as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
We appreciate that.
Great. So I do want to mention real fast before we move on, before we wrap up here in a moment, that if anybody viewing this right now has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat and we will send them over to Sarah and Brian here and see if they have an answer for you guys. So feel free to drop a question if you have one, and we'll go ahead and keep moving. But I think we are just about done. Guys, is there any last words you'd like to leave everybody with?
I would just say, there's a network of people out there of all ages, from very young to very old, who really could use the support and aren't able to advocate for themselves. So if you are willing and able to join us in this effort, we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with everything that Sarah said. It's really easy. You don't have to be intimidated. You can do as much or as little as you want to do, and just get involved. Just put your voice out there. People, they want to hear from you. And who knows, the person who knows the best about what you're going through is you. And nobody's going to know more about your arthritis journey or your immune disease journey than you. So
Yeah, that's a great
That's great.
I think, a lot of people unfortunately have the preconceived notion that, their voice isn't going to be heard. So it's really nice to hear from both of you that, it's important to actually try to make your voice heard and to reach out. And, it's also good to hear that you actually have been able to get responses from these local elected officials. I think that is really important, especially in terms of advocacy, as you can imagine.
Yes.
Well, we know knowledge is power and our voices can be powerful, and together we can truly make a difference. So Brian and Sarah, thank you both so much for your time today, for your insight, and for all that you're doing every day to advocate for our families. We look forward to continuing to moving the efforts in both of the states with your leadership, and we're all here to support you. So thank you again for your time, and we encourage everyone to like our Facebook page, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will continue to do these coffee chats, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.
So we actually do have one question.
Oh, great. Good.
One question. Erica just asked, if I don't know much about politics, can I still get involved?
Yes.
absolutely.
I would just say that there's a lot of resources that teach you along the way. And when I first started this, didn't know a lot about politics either. And I was able to pair with my foundation partners, and they taught me. They said, this is what you need to know. There's materials out there to support you. And it actually, honestly, you don't even have to think if you go to the website. If you want to join and not be in front of them, but you're curious, but you still want to do your part, they pre-populate all of the emails So all you have to do is just add in your own little story, or if you don't want to do that, you can at least just click send, and it notifies your representative of issues that are going on in the arthritis world. Super
Absolutely.
easy. Yeah.
Great. Brian, anything to add on top of that?
I mean, not really. I think the foundation does a good job of pairing you with a foundation partner, or they'll pair you with Sarah or I, depending on what state you live in. And we can teach you what we know and really help you to become an engaged and informed advocate.
Great. Well, Erica, thank you so much for the question. Brian, Sarah, thank you for that fantastic answer. I know she'll really appreciate that. All right. Well, as Kathy said, thank you both so much for joining us. Thank you to our audience for viewing this right now, and for anybody who views this in the future. Please, everybody out there, remember to like our Facebook state pages. That is where you can get a lot of up-to-date information on what we're doing, both in advocacy and just with the foundation in general. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And guys, thank you all so much for joining us here this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.